and said she wants to have a conference for event planners and event owners, event center owners. So I laughed and I said to her, where will you do it? The minute you do it in one person's event, the other person will say you use somebody else's event, not their own. That's number one. I said, this is number two. I said, let me tell you this. If there's an advert called Got Milk. It came out in the 70s, 80s. The makers of milk found out that there was a drop in demand for milk. So rather than start to advertise individual milk brands, they came together, put their money in a pool, and began to advertise Got Milk. In other words, it was the absence of milk that was causing certain problems at home. And all of a sudden, everybody began to sell. Milk sales increased in the whole of America. Everybody made a profit. I said to her, if everybody in Ibadan who has an event next Saturday decides to use an event center, we don't have enough event centers or event planners. I said, but the problem is that because we see ourselves as competition, we will never sit down and market together the benefits of using an event center as opposed to running your own event, and show people that by the time they buy rent canopy, rent chairs, cook food by themselves, go and bring a yawla there from the village and bring so and so to come and cook. If they compare their costs, they will find out that an event center is less stressful and an event planner is very, very useful. I said that will lift up, but we still see ourselves as what? Competition. Yet, if everybody starts to do their event, we don't have enough event centers. How many are there? Now, the best example I found in the Bible was David and Jonathan. Isn't that a strange thing? This boy was the son of the existing king. And yet, he knew that God had anointed David as the next king. Yet, look at what he did. Look at what he did. He didn't see David as his competition. He began to work with David. As a matter of fact, John Maxwell says that Jonathan was David's lead lifter. He was the one who taught him how to behave in the king's presence. Change your entire business model. I was talking to somebody this morning. Oh, it was at the first service, and I said, imagine if you were a painter and you got 4 jobs that all needed to be done the same day. How will you do it? You have to give it out to other people, right? I said, imagine if you were that same painter and you broke your leg. How would you, or you broke your hand, which is what you really use for painting. How would you paint? You can't. I said, but imagine if you owned the paint shop. Does it matter whether your leg is broken or not? You will sell. Am I right? Come on, talk to me. I said, but even better, if you are somebody who makes unique paint. What's happening now? Your business model shifts from being a painter to being a paint shop owner, to being somebody who manufactures unique paints or has an additive that he adds to paints that gives a special effect. That changes your entire business model, because now as a paint manufacturer or a paint inventor, you can get money from rights from your paint. The only thing I'm worried about is what my boys are going to do with my books. Now I'm serious. Nothing bothers me but my books, because it's been a lifetime of investment in books. So I'm thinking, I better write it in my will. Thou shalt not burn up my books. But who cares about the car? By the time they come, it probably be on stones. Who cares about the house? By the time they come, somebody's probably living there in rent. Who cares about the clothes? They probably be out of fashion, especially the shoes. What am I living for? When Pastor Escott died, he was like my mentor and redeemed. It was then I knew I couldn't stay any longer in this system. But I got a little poem that I sent to his wife. It said, when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. May it be that when you die, that the world cries and you rejoice. Because, listen to me, you're going to die. How can fella, like he said, Kuti? You don't need to add Kuti. Just put fella and see who shows up first. Do you know that some of his songs are just beginning to make sense now? Which means he was prophetic. There was a pastor who came from Lagos. He said, have you ever wondered that in the tombstone they write 1962 to 2062 and their whole life is described by a dash. 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 There's a gentleman named, his name is Wong. He said he started to look at all the obituaries over a 10-year period. He said he was looking for the commonality of all the obituaries over a 10-year period. He says the most common word you will find in obituaries over the last 10 years is the word help. That those who had great father's funeral. Yeah, your father's funeral. I remember when I got there. It was in Felele, I think. We drove up to the house. I wasn't preaching that day. There was a preacher from Wokom who was preaching. And he got up. And everybody from Mrs. Smith to everybody to the preacher, Mrs. Smith said, when my husband was in Ghana, he helped me to buy land. He helped me to start building my house. He helped me to do this. The preacher said help. Nobody said he had a beautiful car. Nobody said his house was fine. Nobody even said his wife was fine. They said he helped me. Remember we started this morning, God helped me. Remember that? But guess what? God blesses you in order for you to be a blessing. And if God helps you to be a blessing, come and tell me, hey, come on, watch church more. The problem is that I'm going to be koyato. And if they didn't make any difference here, wherever they're going, they're not going to make any difference. There are some people, when I don't see them one Sunday, let Shehu not come to church on one Sunday. I'm going to go wow, 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 like Norolon. You know that kind of advert? Noise, because the speakers won't work well. Because there's somebody that is always here to make sure that things are working. People will say of us, I am. Who am I in part? I am who I am in part because you were in my life. We will literally live on forever because of the impact we make in the lives of people around us. This is what it means to live an infinite life. You are not, can I say something to some wives here? You are not in competition with your husband. And husbands, you are not in competition with your wife. It doesn't matter if she has more money in her bank account than you, because you are not in competition. Let's bow our heads. You want to come? You want to come? I'll just pray for them and then hand over to you. I want this to be your philosophy for this year. I'm not in competition. The joy of any father is that his children are greater than them. I don't know why people don't see that. You want to leave this church and start your church? We are 100% behind you. Because the joy of any father is for his son to be greater than him.
Of pearls, and he went to sell all that he had to acquire